Hey everyone, yes, welcome back to ChaatNChat, part 4 of Animal. That's 8.
Oh, sorry, four.
Okay.
I don't know, we could break it up into 8. If there's so much good stuff,
it's a
could
3
be
hour
8.
and 20 minute movie, so we're in it to win it. It's a bit of a longer one, so here we go. If you have not seen all the other parts that I'm not going to count.
However many other parts before this part you need to see, go to the playlist in the description below. They'll find it. It'll play part 1, 2, 3. So this is 4. So it'll play those, and then you can watch this part 4. So you'll get it all in the order it was meant to be.
In the order it was meant to be. Yeah. Choose your own adventure, I say. Let's go. All right, so let's jump back into it. But before we do, please check if you are not subscribed. Ask yourself a very personal question: why not? And take that moment to subscribe to the channel, share the video, or like button पर थप्पड़ मारो.
मैंने मौलवी साहब को बुलवाया, हम आज निकाह करें. And forget about this. मुझे.
Wait, so is he going to convert or something to get married again?
मैं आपसे शादी नहीं कर सकती. दुश्मन हूँ मैं आपकी.
Is it?
हार्ट आपको मिला है. कोई रिश्ता नहीं है मेरा उससे. झूठ बोला मैंने. और ये सब कुछ इतनी सफाई से किया गया कि आप लोगों के लाख ढूंढने के बाद भी किसी को कोई शक नहीं हुआ.
Dude, I told you. Yeah. She was so sus from the beginning.
ये सब एक प्लान था.
किसका?
राहक.
कहाँ रहता है वो?
स्कॉटलैंड.
And you're right. She fell in love and she couldn't do it.
अबरार का एक छोटा भाई है. जब आपने उसके भाई को मारा तो उसने स्कूल से लेके अमेरिका तक आपके बारे में सब कुछ पता लगा लिया. उसने उसकी सर्जरीज करा के एक और विजय बना रहे हैं ताकि जब नकली विजय घर जाए तो फैमिली में किसी को भी कोई शक ना हो. उसके बाद सही वक्त आने पर जब आप मेरे साथ होते तो वो आपके पापा को मार डालता. फैमिली का हर इंसान मरते हुए उस इंसान का चेहरा देखता जो उनसे शायद दुनिया में सबसे ज़्यादा प्यार करता है. आपका चेहरा. प्यार कहता है इसके बाद आपको मारने की कोई ज़रूरत ही नहीं है.
Dude, that is so messed up.
वो आपके पापा को बलबीर चाचा कह के बुलाता है और ये ब्लास्ट आपकी जान लेने के लिए था.
वो ब्लास्ट तेरा मुंह खुलवाने के लिए था. ये आंसू असली उस दिन जैसे नहीं. पहले ही दिन से पता था कि तू कौन है.
He knew. Dude, that's so effed up.
तो ये सब क्या था?
कुछ भी नहीं था.
अब मैं क्या करूं?
मर जाओ.
How did she get roped into this? She seemed like maybe she could have had a nice life.
मैं और मेरा छोटा भाई दुनिया फतेह करना चाहते थे. हमने मिलकर स्वास्तिक स्टील शुरू किया. उसकी नीयत खराब हो गई. मुझे उसे स्वास्तिक से निकालना पड़ा. कुछ साल बाद खबर मिली कि उसने अपने आप को आग लगाकर खुद अपनी जान ले ली.
That's pretty intense.
जब बलबीर ने स्वास्तिक संभाला तो आया था उसका बेटा मदद मांगने.
यानी अबरार हक का बाप.
हाँ, अबरार उसका बड़ा बेटा है. तेरा भाई है.
ये कहानी आपको मुझे पहले बता देनी चाहिए थी.
मुझे बिल्कुल अंदाजा नहीं था बेटे कि ये रंजिश उस बच्चे के दिल में इतना गहरा नासूर बन
वो
जाए.
बच्चा अबरार हक.
You see how he is.
हमको खत्म करना चाहता है.
Gotta be on the other side too.
जैसे ये तेरे भाई है वो भी तेरा भाई है. माफ कर दे उसे.
बाबूजी, ये माफी बांटने का वक्त नहीं है.
तो ये भी ठीक हुआ है बेटा. ये काम करने के लिए लोग हैं.
माफ कर दे बेटा.
Oh, but he likes taking it in his own hands, right?
सजा मैं देता हूँ दादाजी. माफी आप दे देना.
Especially with that threat about the kids and wife and dad and grandpa.
मुझे कुछ बात करनी है गीतांजलि.
अरे वेट ना. ऐसे क्यों देख रहे हो? It's my first time.
I've been sleeping with Zoya since the last few weeks.
Whoa.
He's wanting to spoil him.
Well, I think he just also doesn't want to have that on himself, so he wants to put it on her.
Did you have sex with her?
Yes.
तो ये बोलना कि you had sex with her, sleeping with her, physically involved क्या?
गीतांजलि.
Don't touch me.
Okay. She was a mole. I made her fall in love with me so I could know their plan.
I don't think you needed to go that far with her.
Did you kiss her?
Yes.
तेरा सिस्टम ऑन ही नहीं होता है ना विदाउट किसिंग.
Whatever I did, Gitanjali, I did it for my father.
The way he tries to like,
It always is about.
yeah, father.
Do your brothers know that you're fucking around? Oh wait, of course they know.
It was kind of sus that there was
do they
Bobby number
know?
2 in his phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like seriously.
Cause sure as hell your father's threat is not stopping anytime soon!
ये वो इस टाइम बच्चे सो रहे हैं.
Shut the f! बच्चों को उठा के सब कुछ बता दूंगी पापा's new love story! Leave! Leave!
Yeah.
Those kids are gonna need so much therapy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how long you can use the answer that your mom's auditioning for a role. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna eventually get old enough.
अब जाके उसको मार दो.
मैं नहीं कर सकता. उसकी वजह से दुश्मन का पता लगा. मेरे कोई फीलिंग्स नहीं है गीतांजलि. Please, I love you.
उससे प्यार नहीं है. तो यहाँ क्यों नहीं आया?
I mean, he's killed people for less.
Yeah.
Imagine what he'd do to a guy if she admitted that she slept with him.
जब तक तेरे पापा जिंदा है, there won't be one day of peace in your life. जब पापा घर आए, तो स्कूल में बैग बोल के घर भागता था. टीचर से मार खाता था. पापा का बर्थडे है तो पागलों की तरह चॉकलेट बांटता फिरता था.
Oh, I think I know what she's doing.
तेरे पापा के लिए प्यार जोक नहीं रोग है. I really wish he had died that day.
क्या कहा तूने?
I wish he had died that day.
She needs marks to go document to get the divorce. And if he beats her up like that, maybe she could take pictures.
Shoot.
Or that. Didn't think he'd go straight for the gun. Oh my god, he shot at her in the kid's bedroom. Imagine being a kid and waking up and seeing like a gun in your dad's hand shooting at your mom.
Yeah.
These kids are they would be better off in a broken home than this.
Yeah. He doesn't realize how psychotic he is.
He's
about
so
this,
psychotic.
about this dad thing.
Dude, you talk about his dad and he goes ballistic.
कम से कम बेडरूम में तो गन निकला करो. बच्चे सोते हैं किds. अगली बार नहीं लाऊंगा पापा. अब प्लीज सो जाइए.
Try and sweep it underneath the rug.
Seriously, I just shot at my wife.
गीतांजलि, तुम ठीक हो?
Yes, sir.
Husband wife stupid fights. अब सो जाओ. मामा.
At this point, also now, if she does ask for a divorce, they can say, yeah, there was a gun that
No, these
discharged.
people wouldn't condemn their own family member.
True.
They'd side with him.
Yeah.
गीतांजलि, पता नहीं कि मैं वापस आऊंगा कि नहीं. But if I don't come back, दोबारा शादी मत करना.
You know, sometimes some of this background music just reminds me of like school days, like
Yeah.
almost like kid level.
Yeah.
You know, like with
well,
the
he's
whistling.
going to get revenge again.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it doesn't matter. He's driving super fast. You know, he's just gonna make it happen.
He's waiting for him though. Man, those guys are so terrible. Security guards didn't even get one bullet on the car.
Yeah. He seems pretty calm about it.
Oh, because he has a freaking bazooka?
Prepared we are not. हमारे सारे आदमी मर चुके हैं और वो मरने के लिए तैयार है. अगर तूने उसको मार दिया और खुद मर गया तो बचपन से जो आग जल रही है उसका क्या हुआ? उसकी जिंदगी का एक ही मकसद है, तुझे मारना. तेरी जिंदगी का मकसद क्या है? तू बलबीर चाचा को मार दे, ये अपने आप मर जाएगा. इस मादर को उसके घर में घुस के मारेंगे भाई.
So they have some sort of interesting relationship. The way he's like, he's like being very. It seems very romantic.
Yeah.
कहाँ है अबरार?
माफ करने वाला मारने वालों से बड़ा होता है बेटा.
They tried it that way.
कहाँ है अबरार?
मुझे नहीं पता बेटा. भाइयों के बीच ये दुश्मनी और कितने साल चलेगी. I pray to God.
सत श्री अकाल बीजी. अबरार कहाँ है? मैं सिर्फ एक बार और पूछूंगा, फिर एक-एक करके तीनों को अंदर लेकर जाऊंगा।
We don't know where. We don't know where he is.
Oh, now she's officially in labor.
God.
Just tell them this guy's not worth it. If they know, well, they could.
50 miles from here. No, going to kill us.
Why do you have such loyalty to this scary dude?
Information गलत निकली तो गोली मार देना रॉय।
ये तुम्हारी भाभिया नहीं है, दुश्मन की बीवी है।
Don't worry, we have called the ambulance.
Well, that's good. I'm surprised they wouldn't tell him faster. I mean, the way these wives were talking about him, I'd be like, dude.
They're maybe thinking of self-preservation, their kids' preservation of,
maybe.
how if they don't get him, he'll come back because we know that, he'll send out the hit for him, all of that sort of stuff, so.
Oh, circling like piranhas.
Okay.
Comes to a point where I think he'd kill anyone, so I don't think he has much friends.
In a way, it's too very excessive.
Oh, it's a romance story. They're like, bro.
You're as crazy as I am.
I've never.
You're as driven.
Yeah, I can recognize that beast in you.
चाहे मर जाऊं, कोई गोली नहीं चलेगा। इसे सिर्फ मैं मारूंगा।
It's so romantic.
They're gonna duke it out.
Yeah, but in the most romantic bro way ever. This is such an interesting.
Yeah, it is a little bit of an interesting thing. Oh, you think that was good? Here, let me do it.
I feel like this could be a nice SNL skit. This is probably one of my favorite fights that we've witnessed in a movie. It's like such a fresh take on it. Maybe just like how he needs smell and taste to do other things, he needs hearing to work up the rage.
Well, hearing does have a lot of spatial information
and balance.
And balance, yeah. So, yeah. Well, let me take off my shirt too. Yeah, I'll equal it up.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest bromance in cinema history right here. Helping him with his push-ups.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You training chest today? Bro, protein.
जब पहली गोली लगी तो तेरी आवाज सुनाई दी। I realized I was alone.
Yeah. And he has to do it all himself because nobody else is going to do it, especially since you told him, don't do it. Okay, do a big, huge pound him.
Okay.
Jump on him and pound him.
क्या चल रहा है? पिछले 2 घंटे से एक दूसरे को तोड़ रहे हैं।
2 hours.
उस औरत को 2 लड़के हुए।
Identical twins.
बादल जो आए थे आग बरसाए। दादाजी ने बोला तू अपना खून है, मैं रुक जाता हूँ। तू रुकेगा? बोल।
Nope.
मेरा भाई बोल नहीं सकता।
And he can't hear.
मेरा भाई सुन नहीं सकता।
मुझे सही लग जाती है। बोल के तू पापा के पीछे नहीं रहेगा। बचपन से लेकर आज तक पापा के संग मैंने एक पूरा दिन भी नहीं बिताया। रुकेगा?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'd rather be just stabbed.
Yep. Oh, up.
Oh, that's gotta be definitely, and that's not a sharp blade. He's gotta saw that in.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
He wasn't using those vocal cords anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now you just made another person that's gonna come after him with revenge.
Yeah.
He's gotta kill him too. Actually, just kill the entire crew.
Yeah,
Don't
just
leave
leave it
anyone
all,
alive.
leave it all there in the airport and take their plane since you know how to fly.
Evidence, explode it.
Yeah.
They gotta kill this guy or else he's coming for him.
But he wasn't blood. He wasn't related.
It doesn't matter. I think he had a romantic relationship with this guy.
You think it was
100%. Like, even if it was one-sided.
Yeah.
He, like, devoted his life to this guy. And how he was broken down in tears, he's definitely coming after him.
It's like, oh, jeez.
Button to kill me, Papa!
Papa.
You think he's gonna be proud? I have no idea, actually. I can't read the dad at all.
And I'm confused on how they feel about it, on if he's taking care of the family revenge. This is the Hatfield and the McCoys.
Yeah, but it was never them. They were just, living their best life.
Yeah.
It was the other family that was jilted.
Yeah.
Or the other side of the family.
Yeah.
पापा, मैं सोच रहा हूँ अब आप 2 साल हॉलिडे ले लो. हम सब अमेरिका चलते हैं, मम्मा, रूप, रीत, all of us. क्या ये? बलबीर सिंह, 68, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, 4th stage.
Oh, that's foresight cancer.
पापा कुछ नहीं होगा आपको. मेरे बहुत सारे दोस्त हैं जॉन हॉपकिंस हॉस्पिटल में. We'll get you the best treatment, clinical trials, but we'll have to leave tonight.
Be practical. This is not something you can solve with gun and violence.
नहीं सुननी मुझे आपकी प्रैक्टिकल बातें. मुझे नहीं सुननी आपकी प्रैक्टिकल बातें. पढ़ने की बात कर रहे हो ना?
His dad's trying to give him one lesson before he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
मैं जानता हूँ तूने आज तक जो कुछ भी किया वो इसलिए किया क्योंकि अंदर से तू एक क्रिमिनल है और कुछ भी नहीं.
सही है पापा.
I mean, maybe. He just tries to justify it any way he can.
20 साल पहले आपने यही बात की थी ना? हाथ खींच लूंगा, जेल चला जाएगा. खींच लो अपना हाथ. चला जाऊंगा मैं जेल. फिर 20 साल में कुछ नहीं बदला हमारे बीच. मम्मा बाहर जाओ. ये पापा और मेरा पर्सनल मोमेंट है.
Why? Jyoti, come and sit here.
नहीं मम्मा.
Come and sit here.
मम्मा प्लीज.
Dad needs some backup.
What more do you want?
लेट्स प्ले अ गेम. मैं पापा और आप बेटा. स्टे विद मी. पूरी जिंदगी का तो नहीं कर सकते.
Oh, this is weird.
Yeah, is he trying to do some therapy here? Role play.
आपको याद है 5th स्टैंडर्ड में था और माइकल जैक्सन का कॉन्सर्ट हो रहा था बॉम्बे में. मेरे सारे दोस्त जा रहे थे एंड यू ऑर्गेनाइज टिकट्स फॉर मी. पर मैं नहीं गया क्योंकि आपका बर्थडे था. उसी दिन क्या करते, ओके? आप घर आए, मैं पूछते रहा पापा पापा कहाँ थे आप, कहाँ थे आप? और आपने कहा कि मैं बिजी था, काम कर रहा था. आपको बस पापा पापा करना है और मैं आपकी एक्टिंग करूंगा, ओके? शिद्दत से करना पापा. मेरा एक ही मौका है, ओके?
This is like
Is
next
it?
level.
The fact that he's like
He needs this.
पापा, पापा, पापा.
सुनाई दे रहा है, बेरा नहीं हूं मैं.
oh jeez.
पापा व्हाट?
मैं वेट करता रहा.
विजय थिंक बियॉन्ड बर्थडे. लाइफ में कुछ बनना है कि नहीं, या सिर्फ मेरे पूछ बन के मेरे पीछे घूमना है? उस दिन आपने मुझे थप्पड़ भी मारा था, लेकिन अब हम एक्टिंग कर रहे हैं और मैं आपको मार नहीं सकता तो.
Enough, Vijay. Enough, Vijay.
इतनी जल्दी हार मान लिया आपने? पापा आप जानते हो ना आप मेरे लिए ग्रेटेस्ट हो.
Dude, did he really like twist his brain to not remember any of this doing to his son?
आपको पता है मैं आपको इतना प्यार क्यों करता हूँ? इसका कोई जवाब ही नहीं है.
जब तू वापस आया तो मैं कितना खुश था.
He didn't really act it.
मैं स्वास्तिक तेरे हाथ में थमाना चाहता था पर तूने जंग शुरू कर दी.
अगर वरुण मुझे बोलता कि पापा सेफ है तो मैं आपके ठीक होने के बाद वापस चला जाता. पापा had a very happy settled married life in America. स्वास्तिक में अब तक शेयर ढूंढने नहीं आया मैं.
स्वास्तिक was my life.
He did. I mean, he seemed put together until he got back.
I'm your father and you are my son and this is not a game.
He didn't kick him out of the house, right?
छोड़ो पापा, आप फिर से जीत जाओगे क्योंकि मैं शिकायत करना शुरू करूंगा तो मेरी शिकायतें खत्म होने से पहले आप मर जाओगे.
Oh, that's a long list then. 6 months worth.
हमेशा की तरह मेरी पूरी बात सुने बिना.
Using his life sentence, like only 6 months left to live as a burn. That's dark.
मेरी सजा यही है कि ना मुझे अफसोस करने का हक है वक्त,
Which he said he never has regrets.
पर फिर भी तू मुझे कभी माफ मत कर. वैसे ही याद रखना जैसे तू चाहता है.
Has this hyperbolized view of his father when
अगले जन्म में तू पापा और मैं तेरा बेटा.
Good callback.
और वो हर एक गलती जो मैंने की है तू मत करना. फिर देखना मैं तुझसे कितना प्यार करूंगा. तब तू शान से कहना कि my father is the best father in the world.
That, I mean, whew, they should have had that therapy role play a long time ago. That would have saved a lot of blood.
I think
and
so.
bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it wasn't his dad. I expect that to be his dad.
Vijay. Vijay, I'm leaving you.
Yep.
कहीं भी मैं तुम हो या ना हो पर साथ ही रहते हो
You gotta say goodbye to your kids at least.
आँखों में इन आँखों में हर जगह
Oh, she better not leave her boy with him. Does she actually leave though?
I don't know. At this point, it's like, okay, I don't. Man, that's a tough one. Does she leave or does?
अबरार का एक छोटा भाई है जो उससे बेइंतहा मोहब्बत करता है. प्रोफेशनल बुचर है. इस्तांबुल में रहता है.
Yeah, okay.
And leaving her alive.
उसकी सर्जरीज करा के एक और विजय बना रहे हैं.
Yeah, he wants.
Yeah, so he's the imposter. Oh, the fact that she went back to went back to her original
And you know
crew.
what? And that is why she fell in love with him so easily because she's in love with him there.
Oh, she did say butcher, right?
And of course, he went and told him everything that
क्यों?
morning sickness.
Is it?
खून से घबराहट होती है मुझे अजीज.
He's counting. Yep.
बच्चा पैदा होने के बाद ही पता चलेगा कि विजय का है या मेरा जैसा नहीं दिखाना मतलब मैंने.
That's funny because his face is different, right? So obviously the baby won't look like him.
भाभी, I want to marry you. 2 बच्चे हैं. I'll take full responsibility. I hope you're okay with it.
Why wouldn't she say no to a dude with 2 butcher knives?
तू गाना गा रहा था मेरे भाई को मारते वक्त और रनवे पे भी तूने चाकू दिया था.
That's why you just need red walls in your butcher room.
Yeah.
It's easier to keep looking clean.
Guess. Animal Park, is that the second part?
Yeah. They're coming at the end of this year, I think in December, in the end of this year, or in 27.
Oh.
Oh, yes, back to the story. So what's interesting here is because they both look the same, we don't know which one survives, right? Because I was assuming, oh, he's not gonna die here because he survives to become an old man. At the beginning, he's an old man telling the story to all the guys, right? But now that the villain also has the same face as him, you can't say, well, he's an old man because it could just be the other guy, the Istanbul version of him that, you know, survives to be an old man. So you can't, you know, just assume he's gonna be okay in the next movie, right?
Yeah.
So, super curious, what were your thoughts and opinions throughout the thing? What did you hate, enjoy, anything in between?
I want me a Gatling gun wheelchair little locomotive. I liked that. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of those like the shopping cart ones that are motorized in the grocery
Yeah,
stores.
it did.
You go, like go around. So I was like imagining shopping for like beans and vegetables.
Out of my
and
way.
stuff. Seriously, it's like no traffic jams when that comes around.
Yeah. So I like that. That was a fun part. I wasn't expecting it. It came out of nowhere.
It really did.
There was a lot of psychological drama.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen daddy issues that big
yeah.
since I have no idea.
And there were just some really deep scars running through lots of people, actually, because you have the whole bit of what this is all about to start with is one of them ousting some part of the family from the company. This is the whole start of it all. It's come back to create, this war going on within the family. So in lots of ways, if they'd only had a little bit more interplay between some of the other characters, I would have taken it for, a soap opera, okay? Just a very high intensity soap opera, but there wasn't. It was really all about him, Vijay, and just his dynamics with his father and how there was all of this misdirected passion and revenge and idealized. He had, I think, lots of notions of an idealized relationship with his father. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, he would also have this flip side in his head where he knew what the realities were, and yet he wouldn't acknowledge them. So then he would go back to this, I think, this psycho bit of him saying, I'm okay with it. And I thought it was kind of interesting that he flipped it on the psychologist, the person, the doctor there. And he basically was saying, I'm okay and everything. And I'm like going, well, you're not, dude. You are not. And that's besides you just getting shot up like Swiss cheese.
Well, a lot of people that actually need the therapy, their diversion is just to flip it and get a little more like hostile.
Yeah, he wasn't excessively hostile,
In
but
a
he
way,
was aggressive.
He was aggressive.
And, I think he definitely needed someone that was a bit more strong-suited to dealing with him and his type or his ilk and bend in terms of that. But that just showed you how much of he knows he is, I think there's a big part of him that knows he is just really messed up. And then there's the other part that just kind of takes over and says, it's okay, we're good, we're doing awesome, and kind of moving forward. And
everything's great.
Everything's great.
Everything's
Give
fine.
me a gun.
the meme, the dumpster fire, or the dog with the house on fire. Everything's fine.
Yeah, yes. I think that is kind of how I was looking at it a whole lot. I was thinking about it in kind of backing away a little bit from it and just kind of evaluating some of the things. I think some of the acting was just over the top great. Okay, I mean, she had to play such a good wife and character. It was
Rashmika?
tough. Yeah, Rashmika. Yeah. Just torture. And it was interesting to see how she had started off actually in kind of low key, the very start. And then, once she got married to him and they flew and all that other sort of, they hadn't got married at that point, but he flew her there and, did all that sort of stuff. She suddenly realized, I'm going to have to be a whole lot more because he is super large, okay?
It's kind of the Italian mobster wife.
It is.
She turns into.
And that was, there were a couple of times that I was like, why do I have such vibes of mafia and Godfather?
Well, because it's that warring families and stuff, right?
And how sometimes other people have to literally become bigger than what they are for self-protection as well as defense. It just I saw that happen with her a lot. I knew it was there when she didn't really flinch when he pulled the gun on her. She was like, yeah, do it, man. I'm going to call you on. In a way, she did kind of call his bluff because I think there was the part of him that was like, I got to deal with this and I don't know how to deal with it and I got a gun and suddenly...
Well, it's that always rush to violence, right? To solve your issues.
Right. Particularly for him. So suddenly he's like, and that's why he shot, but he pulled to the side and everything. It was just to get that energy, that vibe squelched at that moment in time and so forth. Personally, I think a lot of times that's probably one of the best things when people are just going out of control. It's like redirect that energy anywhere, kick a can, do whatever.
Yeah, sometimes you
just to get that out and get the level to come down, because you're not going to be able to handle it, and you're probably going to regret what you're going to do. So I think the acting was great. There was a lot of great visuals that came through at various times. I mean, when you pointed it out, the coffin when he's laying there on the ground, and visual like that, and all the bodies around him. And I mean, even some of the other visuals that we were catching, like he's the hunter and they're all wearing animal masks and things like that. And I really liked that a lot. Sometimes it was a little too spot on, but there were others that were kind of mixed through that were just as subtle, but you know, it's kind of like, oh, how does that fit in and everything? I gotta say, it was very intense movie.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would not say that there was any pacing issue. Okay? I'm like going, okay.
When you can watch about 3 hours of movie
well,
without
yeah,
an intermission.
exactly. When we can go that long without an intermission, I think that's really pretty impressive, because it means that I'm engaged, I'm looking at it, I want to get to the next part, and the next part is keeping me going. I definitely think it was very, very good from there. So, and there's a lot to digest. I'm still processing a lot of it, and it'll be one of those.
And that ending was very.
Yeah, it's like, did she stay? Did she go?
Oh, well, that ending too.
That ending. Well, and then looking at where it's going to go, it's like, okay, she's pregnant. Oh man, this is gonna get complicated. If it's his baby,
that's the one time you hope your baby's doesn't look like you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he's hoping that the
Right.
baby doesn't look at her, because then he
doesn't look like
doesn't
him.
look like him.
Yeah.
Thinks doesn't look like him, because then that way.
Yeah. Because if it does look like him, it's not his baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you could take that two ways, I guess. Yeah. So that's a good foreshadowing for the next. And again, I think we were in agreement. We should have killed that one guy, the translator.
I mean, we're in that kind of world. I just expected it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have stopped. News would have still hit, because the girl.
Yeah, she was
Zoya. Zoya made it all the way back to this guy in Istanbul and was able to tell him everything. It wouldn't have mattered if you killed him, but hey, one less goon is one less goon, right?
Yeah.
Because especially with how he broke down crying, you gotta kill anyone that's over emotional about someone dying in a movie like this, because you know they're gonna come back and play some sort of pivotal role, because they want to be there to see some sort of justice done for the death
Again, more revenge, and it's like, okay. So that's kind of the thoughts that I had. Oh, you're gonna make me rate this?
Well, yeah, you expect it.
I expect it. Well, I'm gonna give it a 9. I think it was.
Whoa!
I think it was a very well done movie. Definitely, if anything, it should really make people think about, when you start going off the deep end, you need to have a checkpoint at some point. Either someone needs to pull you to the side and say, buddy, I think you're going a little deep on this. Maybe you need a little break. How about we go to Vegas or something?
So how did you, we have to dig into this a little bit, because you gave it a 9. So how did you feel about all of the violence and his trajectory from where he started, the type of kid he was, to we saw him at like kind of late high school years, and then we saw him again, like him getting kicked out the country, or his house, and then we saw him come back from America. So he had this like very linear character.
I am not one to advocate violence at all, and all I could see in a lot of his. And again, just as young as he was already getting twisted in his head about. I mean, it's a little bit of that. What is my masculine role in life? But a lot of it is also. I am not an advocate of this. Is the sudden, revenge, violence, and all this other sort of stuff that just generates its own problems and so forth. And then the next thing you know, you find yourself in the deep end of the dark pool. You're fighting for your survival, and you're not enjoying life. So I'm like going. I could see him heading that way, and I was like, oh man. And the other aspects that were coming up with his dad, and just how his, the response from his dad 8 years later was kind of like, okay, this is just going to send him even further down that side and everything. So I was just like, nah, not so good. So that belief that you can only respond to things in a certain way, and it's kind of this super, some people use toxic masculinity. It's hard to say that, because that's just such a big, huge, broad thing. I think I saw elements of that when he specifically, like the whole bit about wide hips. That is so, that is unacceptable. That is really unacceptable. Okay, I mean, it's you can take it as you're getting fat. You're great for kids, and it just denigrates a woman in a way that is just not acceptable. Just, I mean, women are great, and yes, if they're...
Yeah, but you know how he said that? You could almost take that in two ways, because he said like, oh no, congratulations on your wedding, you have great hips, so that you have that going for you, meaning that what role she's about to marry into will see her only as childbearing. And that's why he's like, because she was walking away, and he said that when she was walking away, which means that it's like the life you chose, like if you want to be someone that is just chosen,
right,
then you're chosen for a reason.
Yeah.
And so for him, he's just like, but in the end, like blah, blah, blah. So you could take that like two ways. Did he say it like that's what he really thinks? Or did he say it as if like from the perspective of the family she's joining?
That she was
that's
joining.
how they see her.
Yeah.
So.
And that, again, but he could have said it in a better way.
Yeah,
and
but that's not the type he is. He does not sugarcoat things.
Well,
he never sugarcoats things.
Yeah,
he doesn't care.
didn't
He just walks
sugarcoat
into a
it.
room and he will say what he thinks. And that's that. He is unfiltered.
Yeah.
Like totally unfiltered.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's this whole thing of he believes he knows better than everybody else, which sometimes is like, okay, you're smoking like a fiend, having just survived, this.
That's the very first, like, him and I think her name is Zoya, when she said that heart was his, but the way she just, I mean, I know people are probably going to say, you've watched this movie before, and I swear I haven't. I don't know if I could do another 3.5 hours to watch it again twice.
Yeah.
The thing is that it was just, if you look at her, how she's acting,
Yeah.
and you would think,
Well,
okay, wait a second.
She was kind of thirst trapping on him to begin with. Granted, there's a naked man walking through
Yeah,
here.
but at the same time, for him to get a heart transplant of her supposed husband, he would have had to die like a day ago, 2 days ago, very, very recently.
Right.
Which means all of a sudden I'm going to be checking out this like naked dude and like getting all up on his heart and stuff. I don't care how sentimental you are with that heart. There's a stranger's face that you're getting close to because he doesn't look like your husband, right? Or your fiance, I guess he was.
Yeah.
So it's like to make that connection, you'd have to start trying to get close to him and maybe develop it over time. But you have to get over your dead fiance first, not thinking that, oh, his heart is here. So that made me super suspect of her from immediately. Especially when he just walked into her room and then she started asking like, oh, so how many kids? Oh, you have a wife. Wow, this is such a great family I'm wrecking. And it's just like, who are you? You're dead inside.
When she was talking about his family at this point, she'd already slept with him.
Yeah.
I was like going, you are okay with wrecking this. So I was like going, you have alternative motives here.
Oh man,
Definitely.
I was on her. I had her card from the beginning. I was like, she has darkness in her soul.
Even if you just wanted to marry into the family for the wealth or something like that, you have alternative motives. So that's not so good.
I really appreciate the cinematography of this because it was done in a way, like it was very creative and it drove the story. Like it told a lot about the story in the composition of the shots and the movement of the camera. You noticed it a few times how during one of the fights it was like going around him and stuff, and it really added so much to it. And I think that there was a lot of thought put into that part. The choreography of the fights were really fun. If you're gonna make this kind of action movie, then you should put some effort into the fights, and they did, and it felt not always grounded because there were some things that was like, whoa, okay, like but at the same time it was something that was entertaining, and that's what you do with a movie, right? Like it's all entertainment purposes.
Right.
Him going through life the way he is, he's trying to give all these lessons and stuff to all these guys and tell the girls about who they should fall in love and stuff with. But the thing is he is on a downward spiral. His life is in shambles. That life, I don't know anyone. I know he has tons of money and stuff, but I would not trade places with him for like twice of what he's worth. I wouldn't, because it's not worth it to me, because that is such a downward spiral and there's not going to be a happy ending for someone like that. And there never is. And this is what, to me, it's showing is it's like, it's saying one thing, it's one of those things that says one thing in your face, but then it's actually like you got to read between the lines, because between the lines is saying, you think this is cool, but look at his life. You'd really want this kind of life, like full of like all this misery and blood and mayhem and stuff.
And I mean, in a way, it's like, Do you want the super wealth that comes with all of this grief?
Right.
You know?
Well,
And-
grief, and then just also this constant worry of sanity and safety.
Right.
Not just for him himself,
But his
like
family.
his family. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like hearing someone threaten. I don't think I've ever had someone seriously threaten me and my family by saying that they're going to change their face to look like me and go kill everyone that I ever loved. So the last person they'd see doing this to them is you. That's next level creepy.
that is-
You know, to have someone threaten you at that extreme. And so I'm not going to change my life with someone like that. I'm just not.
Right.
So he's a cautionary tale, and that's how I take it.
That should
right?
be a red flag for yourself if you're willing to do all that sort of. I'm going to change the way I look and everything so I can come and get you and your family.
Well,
and
for
everything. I
everyone,
like
part of
that
that
too.
style.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an interesting, the whole thing, and you can't take this seriously, or at least I couldn't. The whole fight scene between him and Bobby Deol, right? Because like the two of them, it was like some sort of like I was expecting the rain to come down at some point. It was the biggest romance. It was the biggest romance I've ever seen in Bollywood history. Like this would rival.
If they snuck a kiss in between, you would have just glossed right over and gone, yeah,
Well,
that's
no,
right
it would
along
be
with
that
it.
almost kiss, and they did kind of like do that. And
Oh, yeah,
so they
no,
would
that's
like get in
true.
their heads kind of
Yeah,
close together,
yeah.
and then they'd both like push away, and it'd be in like rhythm with the music. No, and it's like, don't shoot him, you know. And it was like so romantic in a way, and I was just like,
it's true.
whoa, like they are vibing hard over here. Like
Right.
that's like I don't know, but it was like I know I've seen at least one SNL skit that was something
like
very
that.
similar where it's like, you know, guys getting together on the beach, like trying to be friends with each other because they can't make friends anywhere else, and they're talking about protein.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, but
Jim,
you know,
Jim.
if you think about it, they have both been on this trajectory trying to get
yeah.
to a certain point. So if you think about it, it's their final meeting. There's been all this build up to it. In a way, they are both wanting to enjoy it and be up close and personal.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's why they're going to do it hand on hand. No guns. They're not going to use the minions or anything like that. They're gunmen, they're gang, whatever. They're going to do it one-on-one. It has that vibe. So definitely I agree with you that there was this huge bromance.
No, I mean, it was super obvious. I mean,
Yep.
they wouldn't play a song like that in the background if it wasn't supposed to be this like thing, because they were supposed to see each other, and the way they both looked at each other, they recognized that shadow within them, right? I guess like Dexter would call it the shadow passenger, the dark passenger, I think
dark
he calls it.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so I mean, both of them have it. Like they looked at each other and they're like, bro, like you look just like me, like
You
beneath
got
it
it,
all.
I got
and
it.
so, I mean, that was like, I was so there for that scene. I just maybe wanted more of that kind of like commentary of this whole thing, maybe like throughout. And it is there. You just have to, like I said, read between the lines, because if you're looking up front face of it, it's like this is what it's saying on the surface level. But if you look between, and then there it just got super on the nose, which was fun, and I really enjoyed that scene.
Didn't mean to come off comical, but it kind of did.
Well, no, I don't know. Maybe they didn't for it to do that. So I'm curious in the comments to see what people are going to say about that whole fight scene, because it was definitely a choice of filmmakers. You know, they got in a room and they decided the background
it's almost
music.
the question. It almost begs the question: if they had been going at it for 2 hours, as he said, and suddenly they had this kind of one-on-one each other, and they kind of semi-knocked each other out, and then suddenly they're just both lying there.
And woke up the next morning
And
with
then
tattoos.
woke up. Well, yeah, exactly. And and each
Like
other
his-
having a tattoo on their
like
name
his
on the
and her
other.
tattoos.
His and her tattoos. How would that?
And we're like, what did we do last night?
What happened?
Bro, where's my car?
I have the keys. Yeah. That sort of thing. Would that been enough for them? Because, he kind of threw down the gauntlet when he said, just cut it in terms of, going after my dad. He basically said, go down on it. That is the whole zipper thing, and so at that point he says, okay, I gave you a chance. Didn't happen. But it just would have been interesting if that had happened, where they knocked each other out and then they both wake up kind of, all right, the energy is gone. Where,
No, I don't know. They
Yeah.
just got their rest, and now they're fully
Well,
wired
they're
and they're
gonna go-
ready to go at it again.
Well, yeah,
That's
maybe.
what they do.
Yeah.
At that point, they were like more like two beasts in the jungle fighting it out over anything else, anything sort of like that you could even cool down from. And they just see each other, and that's the thing, is like and maybe what they're trying to say is that, you know, when two alphas in the wild meet, you know, they share this like almost like instant sort of like recognition that they think they're an alpha, you think that you're an alpha, and then you go at each other and lock horns.
Yeah.
It's like this thing. You see stags do it all the time, they lock horns, right? And so it's like, I think that is what they're showing, where these two like are on the tarmac, they look at each other.
The fight to the death.
Well, yeah, because it's like two alphas that both are saying that they're the supreme.
Neither's going to come down.
Yeah.
Neither's going to come down.
And they both accept
And at that
that.
point, they're back to the primal animal.
And that's why this movie is called Animal.
Yeah.
I'm almost
you
sure,
know,
because what is an animal? They explained it at the very beginning of the movie.
And more rational thought processes and so forth are not coming in, and you know, societal norms, and you know.
So I still have to rate it.
Yep.
Yeah, I did think that 3 hours and 20 minutes was too long. But I would have a very hard time with thinking about what to cut out, because I think all the family scenes were really needed. I love how the world just got so much deeper and crazier the longer the movie went. Like in the beginning, it was just a kid with daddy issues, right? And it was like a sad family. But then the further we got on, the more lore and back history we learned about these families, and the world just started opening bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just like, what is going on with this place, you know? But it was interesting, and I was really into it. So, I mean, I would say that the length was a little, like, it felt like after watching it, I'm like, wow, that was 3 hours and like 21 minutes or something. You know, like, could we have sped that up? I have no idea. I don't know what the answer is to it, but I felt like it was maybe a
one
little
of the
long.
waves of villains in the mask could have been cut or something.
Well,
but no.
the axe one was maybe gratuitous.
Yeah.
Because the axes, I mean, dude, are you really gonna like stand in the middle? But I guess it's that whole bravado thing again.
Yeah.
So, but I thought the acting was great. I already talked about cinematography, like background score. Again, I talked about how I really liked that throughout. Like whether they were using like kid songs and making it, even in the beginning where they were playing the kid song on the piano, right? They did that, and then they had this whistling one, which I thought was a great background score, because they were always contrasting with like having the music almost help develop the feelings that we were feeling at this time, like school ground bully or school ground like fight, you know, like when you're at the school and you got all your buddies and you're like fight, you know, it felt like that, like school days.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's a commentary on it, and you could fall, because people are saying maybe that don't like the movie that it glorifies this, but I think it's a commentary on this masculinity that is like overcompensating for something, like whether it's daddy issues, like you don't have this love in your life, and then you have to find something to replace that gap, that hole in you with.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of like what he started filling it with, is this idea that maybe if he could be the perfect male specimen, that his dad would finally like find love or something for him. So whether it's that, or someone could take a whole different route, like I'm going to be super successful in life, I'm going to get the biggest law degree or something like that, you know, but there's always this sort of like empty spot that you're going to try to fill, because there's a void that you didn't have that connection with a parent or something, right? I mean, that's like the kind of filmy takeaway that you can always go with. And here we see it of him like thinking that, oh, well, that's just this one thing that he wants me to do. I went to America, I studied at this school, I graduated, I can come back, I can be the business owner, but then he's treating this other guy, so clearly that's not what he wants. Oh, I found out about this family feud, I'm going to go solve it for him so I can come back and be the best boy. You know, so anyway, so I like the commentary on that. If you read it as that, as a commentary on this kind of like stereotypical masculinity.
Well, and it also makes a commentary on how the cultural dynamic around it as well too, because his mom doing these odd things that didn't really help the situation. Okay, she was trying to tell his dad, hey, you're not giving him the credit that he's due.
It was a little too late.
It was a little too late, but he was also saying, but this was the way, you know, this is what I needed to do, and it's like going, dude, that right there is
you have no one to blame for how your kids turn out.
But you.
Like, you know, and as parents.
And, you know, and again, even in the U.S., you know, many times people are saying, you know, the parents work too much, or the parents are not giving enough attention to the kids, you know. Just the other day, you know, I was reading a study that, you know, they're saying parents need to be reading to their kids at an earlier age, like at 2 and 3, you know, every single day. And parents are going, I've got no time for reading to my kid every single day, you know. And
That's crazy.
Well,
really?
they're saying that, yeah, it actually...
Well, no, I'm not that they don't have time
Or
for it
that
because
it-
like your kids go to
well,
bed like
but-
right before bedtime,
But
like
the
read
thing
them a
is
bedtime
if,
story.
you know, with the economics and so forth, sometimes people are working two jobs, they're too exhausted and so
Well-
forth. You know, so there are reasons, and we just have to, in a way, kind of step back and say, what's important? What's important here? And again,
Teaching your kids not to be super
right,
evil.
and you got to give them a little bit of attention, and sometimes even just 5 minutes. I love. There was a couple of times when it's like, you got 10 minutes. 10 minutes with Dad? He's my dad.
Yeah.
And I'm on his agenda
you're
for
right.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me.
That's pretty
okay.
sad.
And I have to wait for the 10 minutes. Okay. So it's like, okay, I can do that now and then. But if I need to see Dad, I need to see Dad now, you know, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
but again, is all the money worth it?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Anyway, I am going to give this a 7. I almost like but it's 6, 7. It's 7.
6, 7.
So I'll give it a 7 because it was entertaining. It was entertaining throughout. I just think that maybe there'd be less. However, like the controversy was almost provoked. I think it did that on purpose. And again, because I think it's making a lot of sense after Arjun Reddy, right? Because Arjun Reddy, there was like some criticism like, aren't you afraid of like showing like this kind of stereotype? And then it's like you said, he doubled down and he's like,
yeah.
I made this movie now. What are you gonna say?
say.
You know, and it's
yeah.
almost like it drives
Yeah.
the attention towards it. So for me, I guess what I do is if it was a little bit more clear, like, because sometimes reading between the lines is very blurry.
Yeah.
And you know, then even as you're creating the movie, you start getting blurred with those lines. Like, oh wait, is this commentary or is it glorifying? Now for me, I took away from this after watching it as commentary, like a critique of this stereotype. And so that's how I could enjoy it, is because it's for me like kind of like a look into the life of someone that chooses to go down that path and believe these things, which is not a life that I'm ever interested in because that is full of bloodshed and terror.
Yeah.
So no thanks. That's my takeaway. I thought a lot of stuff about it was really good. Yeah, I don't know. It's a 7.
The one thing that also I like about this is I can see how if I went to this movie at the theater with a bunch of friends, this could certainly get a whole lot of conversation going.
And this was.
And that is exactly, I think, what a really good movie can do. Is because
As long as in the right way.
well,
not-
if it's constructive conversation
Yeah.
amongst friends
Right.
and even family, to say, you know, well, why did you think that? You know, and do you see me doing that?
I think you start
know,
understanding some family members a little bit better after that.
Well, and maybe so. And then maybe you can say,
That's
you know
the
what,
point.
maybe I need to change things up a little bit here. You know,
Maybe.
maybe more family time at dinner, you know, you know, how's school?
Yeah, I'd say like after, like if a dad goes to this movie with his son afterwards, it's like, you know, I love you, right? Like,
I can, let's make 30 minutes a day. We set it aside. We'll
you
go
don't
out,
have
we'll
a
have
murderous,
chai.
you don't have a murderous spree in you, do you?
Yeah, you
So
know, but yeah, so I like that aspect of it, that I think it could really inspire. And if it created a lot of controversy, I think that's great because it gets people to say, hey, okay, well let me see what I think about this, and you know, see the movie and you know, talk to people and see what, you know, comes up.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's good.
Well, I'm so ready to read what the comments say. So please let us know thoughts, opinions in the comments below. What did you think? What would you rate it? You know, did you read some of the things between the lines, or do you think this is actually glorifying? You know, I'm curious to find out all that
What
stuff.
other things did we maybe miss? You know,
Oh, I'm
again,
sure- what other things? Probably
I'm
a
sure
list
there's
of
lots
things.
of things we missed.
We wouldn't get done with the list until his dad probably died.
Yeah.
He used that burn. I can use it. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like these, then it's super easy to turn on all notifications by hitting that bell icon. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, a like button, tapar tomorrow.